Time of history's embrace, Captain's Quarters sets the pace with Captain Mayhem at the helm. A voyage of knowledge, a story to round. Captain's Quarters weekly delight, where history's treasures take flight. Led by Mayhem, Longwood, and Joe, they explore the past, row by row. Navigator Longwood charts the course, guiding listeners to knowledge's source. Cartographer Joe, with maps in hand, unveils the...
Hi, welcome to Captain's Quarters Podcast. Was that a different roll in there, Davey?
No.
Well, I guess I wasn't paying attention. Hi, welcome to Captain's Quarters Podcast. Here we are again with episode 190, I believe it is. Right, Dave?
190.
190. We've been really going hard at it. It's time to start thinking about retiring. All right. So how do you find out about our show? Well, you've got to go to Captain's Quarters Podcast at YouTube and hit that QR code, like us, follow us, find out all about us, and get involved in the show. And Davey, I see that the messages or comments from people are already on the screen. So that little beta test is working really well. That's cool. So ladies and gentlemen, like us, follow us, subscribe to us. That way you'll be able to keep up with us every week at Captain's Quarters Podcast. So we always go right into... What do we go right into? I have to look.
You go right into Joke of the Week.
Joke of the Week with Mini Mayhem. And Mini Mayhem has kind of been taking a breather here. He's going to be getting a new haircut and a new beard here shortly. But for now, let's see what Mini Mayhem has to tell us for this week for his Joke of the Week.
Ahoy, mates. Mini Mayhem here with Joke of the Week. Sponsored by our cartoonist friend, Travis Rami of Salt City Comics. How did the pirate know he was getting old? Think about it, and I will give you the answer at the end of the show.
I know how the pirate knows he's getting old. When he's creaking more than the rafters of the ship. I know that one for fact. Very good. I see we have a couple of extra watchers here. I see George Gonzalez, old Gonzo. Thanks and welcome aboard, mate. Nightingale in Florida. Omar from Mexico City is on board with us. Steve Scuba Murray from South Carolina, and Blackball from over in Panama City. Boy, do we have a wide variety of people watching the show tonight, and we even have some really great numbers to show to you at the end of the show. But for now, and I know, I'm going to say this, I know it looks like I'm looking up, which I am. I have a new monitor. It's higher than everything. It's higher than the camera, actually. So I'm looking up over the camera. I need to do some work on fixing that, but maybe by next show, we'll have that all fixed up. Yeah. So it kind of looks like I'm, but oh well. On that note, let's see here. Ancient City Sirens. You want some good dancers, and they're going to be joining us on a couple of events coming up. We just did an event together with them. But they are our sponsors for this week in nautical history. So ladies and gentlemen, if you want a good dance troupe, Miss Gina is the one. And I've been working with Miss Gina for 19 years now. We just were talking about it over the weekend. Go ahead, Davey. This week in nautical history.
We begin this week in nautical history on June 16th, 1745. British fleet occupies Cape Breton on St. Lawrence River. June 17th, 1579, English navigator Francis Drake lands on the coast of California at Drake's Bay, names it New Albion. June 18th, 1779, French fleet occupies St. Vincent, West Indies. June 19th, 1864, CSS Alabama sunk by USS Kearsarge off Cherbourg, France. June 20th, 1819, the SS Savannah reaches Cork, an island, after a 29-day and 11-hour voyage from Savannah, Georgia to become the first steamship to cross the Atlantic or any other ocean. June 21st, 1919, the German Navy, feeling betrayed by the terms of the Versailles Treaty, scuttles most of its ships interned at Great Britain's Scapa Flow Naval Base in the Orkney Islands. And finally, on June 22nd, 1807, British board USS Chesapeake, a provocation leading to the War of 1812. And that was This Week in Nautical History.
Very good, Davey. Some really good, important things there. And great to have you. I see some others have popped in. There's Bo. There's Miss Kara. Very good. It's lovely to have so many people in with us tonight. And we continue on with Quote of the Week by Spyglass Travel. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want a really great tour of the oldest city in the nation, then you want to take a tour with Spyglass Travel. My friends over there, Angie and Kevin, they run a tight ship. And besides getting a great tour, it is a walking tour, ladies and gentlemen. So you're going to get a great cardio workout because it is at least an hour's worth of walking around the city of St. Augustine. So check out Spyglass Travel. And for now, what is our quote of the week, Davey? True charity doesn't give recognition, it simply gives. Henry Hill. Okay, I just have to ask, who is Henry Hill? Can you tell me, Davey?
I don't know.
The name doesn't sound familiar, but that's okay. That's all right. Sometimes we don't learn it all. I appreciate that. That's a good one. Very good. And we always jump into 8 Bells. And 8 Bells is sponsored by Marco's Pizza. My friends, I've had pizza from many different places, and Marco's has become my favorite pizza of all pizza. I don't know what it is, the sauce, the crust, but I do know this. Their vegetable pizza I would have swore I never would have eaten a vegetable pizza, but their vegetable pizza is to die for. I love it. So let's move on from Marco's Pizza to
8 Bells, there's 6 of them.
All right, 6 it is. I've got my glasses in. Let's see what we got. Oh my gosh. Hold on. I'm going to have to enlarge things here so I can see it. Give me a second here. How do I do that? Nope, that won't do it. That won't do it. Give me a minute. I'm figuring it out. I got a new screen here and I'm having problems with it.
What a maroon. What an ignoramus.
Who said that? Scuttle them now and make them walk the plank. All right, go ahead and put it back up. I'll just stand up and look closer. Brian Douglas Wilson, the Beach Boys, an American musician, singer, songwriter, and record producer who co-founded the Beach Boys, often called a genius for his novel approaches to pop composition and mastery of recording techniques. For he was widely acknowledged as one of the most innovative and significant songwriters of the 20th century. His best-known works is distinguished for its high production values, complex harmonies, and orchestrations, vocal layering, and introspective or ingenious themes. He received numerous industry awards, including 2 Grammy Awards, Kennedy Center Honors, as well as nominations for a Golden Globe Award, Primetime Emmy Award. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in '88 and the Songwriters Hall of Fame in 2000. His life and career were dramatized in 2014, Love and Mercy. He was 82 years old. Harris Yulin. If you don't know him by name, you surely recognize his face. Ladies and gentlemen, was an American actor who appeared in over 100 films and television series, such as Scarface, Ghostbusters 2, Clear and Present Danger, Looking for Richard, Bean, Hurricane, Training Day, and Frasier, which earned him a Primetime Emmy Award nomination in '96. He was 87 years old. Christopher Brown, Chris Robinson, was an American actor, screenwriter, and film director, sometimes credited as Christopher Robinson. Robinson played Dr. Dick Weber on General Hospital from 78 to 86. Following his role, he joined Another World in the late 87, where he played the role of Jason Frame and was reunited with Denise Alexander, who had played Leslie on General Hospital. Jason was murdered in early 89. He then appeared on another soap opera, The Bold and the Beautiful, as Jack Hamilton, joining in the early 1990s and leaving after 3 years. And in 72, he got the lead as a fanatical snake charmer in the horror movie Stanley. He was 86 years old. Travis Carter was a car owner and crew chief in the NASCAR Winston Cup Series. He served as crew chief for 2 decades, winning a championship with Benny Parsons in 73. Carter was winning crew chief with Parsons, who won the 75 Daytona 500. He owned Travis Carter Motorsports from the 90s to 2003. He was the uncle of NASCAR chief Larry Carter and the father of NASCAR driver Matt Carter. He was 75 years old. Betsy Gay was an American actress and yodeler. She was born in Waterford, Connecticut to Charles and Helen Gay, who were also entertainers. She appeared in films, television, and radio shows. Her film career mostly consisted of bit part roles during the golden age of Hollywood, such as The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, 1938, Our Gang, 37, Mystery Plane, 39. Her final role was in 43. Throughout her singing career, she worked alongside the likes of Dale Evans, Stuart Hamblin, Tex Williams. She won a yodeling competition in California 2 years in a row in the mid-40s. She had several music recordings with labels such as Capitol Record and Decca Records. She was 96 years old. Leonard Allen Lauder, an American billionaire, philanthropist, and art collector. Together, he and his brother Ronald Lauder were the sole heirs to the Estee Lauder Company's cosmetic fortune founded by their parents, Estee Lauder and Joseph Lauder, in 1946. Having been its CEO under Estee Lauder, was the chairman emeritus of the Estee Lauder Companies, Inc. During this tenure of CEO, his company went public at the New York Stock Exchange in 96 and acquired several major cosmetic brands, including MAC Cosmetics, Aveda, Bobbi Brown, and I can't see the other one, but he was 92 years old. I apologize, Davey. I have one problem I see with our allowing the comments on the picture frame.
Yeah, I think we'll have to have it off when we do that.
Yeah, we'll have to remember that. We apologize, ladies and gentlemen. This is something new that StreamYard is offering us. We thought it would be really cool to do, but there is, once in a while, there's a glitch, which we just found the glitch, but that's fine. Miss Kara Creamer says Henry Hill was the young Irish boy that worked for the mob. Goodfellas was the movie with Ray Liotta. Okay, I'll have to remember that. Very good. So we've done our 8 bells for 6 different people, all of them celebrities that most of you probably all know, have heard of, or seen their work. So on that note, Davey, we give them honor, we give them praise to them, their fans, and their families. It is a sad loss to lose them, but they still live on in our memories. 8 bells. And Will the Historian has made it in. I appreciate that. And Jim Noonvelt is in here also. Very good. Wow. That was a lot, Davey. And I actually think there was probably some more, but let's not get too carried away with it, right? All right. Let's see. This Week in History is sponsored by Dick's Wings. I don't really have to talk about Dick's Wings because guess what? We have a commercial. Davey, take it away.
Where does the captain take his hungry crew for a good lunch special? Why, Dick's Wings. Daily lunch specials even a pirate could afford. Why, look, a table filled with flavors and tastes for even the most discriminating of pirates. A great lunch and a great time is always had by all at Dick's Wings, St. Augustine, Florida, US 1 South.
We begin this week in history on June 16th, 1779. Spain declares war on Great Britain in support of France and the USA, starting the Great Siege of Gibraltar, which goes on to last 3 years, 7 months, and 2 weeks. June 17th, 1775, Battle of Bunker Hill. Actually, it was Breed's Hill. June 18th, 1864. Siege of Petersburg, Ulysses S. Grant ends 4 days of assaults and begins a 9-month siege. June 19th, 1964. Civil Rights Act of 1964 passes 73 to 27. June 20th, 1960. The Huckleberry Hound Show by Hanna-Barbera becomes the first animated program to win an Emmy. June 21st, 1942. U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt and British Prime Minister Winston Churchill arrive at Hyde Park for the hastily convened Second Washington Conference. And finally, on June 22nd, 1970, President Richard Nixon signs extension of the 1965 Voting Rights Act that requires voting age at 19 in all federal, state, and local elections. And that was This Week in History.
Very good, Davey. Very good. And it's time for a shot across the bow. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is a combination of a couple of things. Let me get the management of this down. I had it squared. There it is right there. Tonight, it's a combination of a few things, but it all boils down to, and as many of you know, my fight against social media. Even though I realize we're on social media, it is a double-edged sword. I started it with a quote or a spot this morning, and I share it with you now, but I added to it during the day and wrote some more things. So first, allow me to share this, and this is just a thought, and I'm sure some people may not agree with me, although I did get quite a few agreements on my social media post on Facebook today. But what if we just stop trying to attach that piece of garbage in Minnesota to either side of the political spectrum and treat him as what he is, a true piece of garbage? I'm not giving him credit for his name. I'm just going to call him a piece of garbage. I am all for admitting we all have disagreements in our political views and convictions. But until we curb our vile name calling, our vulgar language, and our hate-filled screams at the top of our lungs at those we don't agree with, then actions like this are not going to be isolated anymore. They're going to become the norm. When I first heard of what this piece of garbage did, I can honestly say for myself, I didn't give one thought to what side he was on. My first thoughts were to the families who now have to deal with grief and sadness and loss, and how terrible this really was, how despicable he was for doing this. And especially on a weekend where we are supposed to be honoring our fathers, our parents. Now, I say if your first thoughts were on what side did this guy come from, then you are part of the problem and not the solution. This does lead me to another part of social media that causes and creates great issues, and one that I hope I can share with you now. Way too many posts are made as innuendos. We hate or despise, we find fault, or we point the fingers of blame, as I mentioned, like in the first part of this shot across the bow. As a comedian with bona fide stage time, let me tell you this. Innuendos are great for comedy shows, humor, and routines, but they do absolutely nothing for relationships. All these memes, all these innuendos, and yes, I am guilty of them a time or two now also, but I'm taking a different look as I share my thoughts and my words and my feelings online with you. Innuendos. They have made us all snipers in the dark, shooting verbal darts at people from the cover of the peaceful seclusion of our place behind the screen. In many cases, the person or persons the memes are meant for totally missed by the person who should read it and realize. Instead, all of our friends see the memes and think, oh my God, I wonder if it's me. What have I done? Is it me they're bitching about? Come on, let's face it. Every meme ever posted could be about every person on your friends list. It's time we start talking straight. Grow some cyber balls. This is the second time in a month I've used that term. And speak up. Veiled hints do nothing more than protect the people you are posting about. Veiled hints just kicks the can of drama down the road. But here is something more important, and sometimes maybe even more often thought about or not taken. The posts and memes we put out there is a waving of a personal flag saying, I'm hurt, I'm confused, I'm heartbroken, I'm sad, I'm lonely, I'm in need of a shoulder to cry on or an ear to talk to. And we miss that too, because we are all trying to decipher the code of the meme, the hidden meaning behind the post that seems none of us can see, as if it was the forest for the trees. A friend is in need and we can't see it because we have grown immune to the life around us because the whole world is exploding on our screens in front of us, but we're not paying attention to the life right around us. I'm guilty of this issue recently in where I posted something because I was hurt, felt disrespected, and needed to find an answer to my depressed state. The words of support were comforting, but one of those that gave words of support was the very person that the meme was all about and had been one of the very ones to cause the hurt and the bad feelings I had. Their words of support, showing they didn't even have a clue, just made it worse, not better. That person was so oblivious to the threads of our friendship that they were clueless, and this hurt greatly. We must do better. I myself will make a better effort. I like to think I am pretty good at being a friend, but apparently I have fallen short and I must improve. And to be quite honest, I am very sure I am not the only one. Communication is a noun, and it means the imparting or exchanging of information or news. The two key words, imparting, meaning to give or to make clear, and exchanging, meaning to share or to give and take. Communication is a two-way street, and social media causes us to be guarded in both directions of our imparting or exchanging of this information. It is vitally important that maybe we should pay attention to the messenger as well as the message. Maybe we should pay attention to those that are giving the message because maybe they're the ones that are making the cry for help. They need support. They need a shoulder. In other words, speak out, speak up. No veiled. Say it. Say what we mean, but be civil and remember we have 2 ears and 2 eyes and only 1 mouth. Why? Because, believe it or not, God made it so that we would listen and watch twice as much as we need to speak. If I have friends that need to chat or just breathe, please ask, message. Privately, no one has to know anything, but publicly, we all need to improve this. If I do reach out to you, here's the other side of it. If I do reach out to you to check on you because I have seen your post and maybe I've figured it out or I've heard some info, silence is not the response in return. That is a good response to either. We all need to be aware of the essence of human presence in our lives is very important, and we need to be careful lest social online media destroys it. And that is my shot across the bow. Very good, I think. I would like to hope. on the horizon and guest of our section is all going to be combined, ladies and gentlemen, because we are going to use this section to talk about a couple of events. Let's talk about the event, Davey, that I just participated in with Miss Gina. It was the Pirate Gypsy Fashion Show. Well, I was a late time call into it. Miss Gina had been called in to help, and then she called and asked if I would too. So I said yes. We had a good time. They were raising money. There are some really great pictures. Davey, what did you pop up there? What pictures do we have? There's Miss Gina and some of the girls that danced with her. They did 3 sets. This was at the Waterworks in St. Augustine, right next to the city library. I'd never been in the building before, but I was greatly impressed with it. I like the building. It's got a stage. It's got back rooms. It's got a nice area out front. I'm impressed with it. And Miss Gina and I are now talking about maybe figuring out some shows that we would like to do there. I know I'd like to contact some of my friends that are magicians and have magicians doing an all magic show. Also, I got to see my good friend, Miss Deborah, and Miss Gina knows Miss Deborah also. And Miss Deborah was there to support and be in the audience. Aye, and what a pirate lass she is. Oh, there's yours truly playing with the rings again. It always seems I get those kind of pictures now. What else? And there's Miss Gina. This is one of the costumes for their set. What a wonderful backdrop it was, and what a wonderful set they did. Miss Gina and the girls always do such a wonderful job for this. And let's see, was there anything else there? Now, that was pre-show, and the funny looking UFO thing is a musical instrument, ladies and gentlemen. I learned something new about that over the weekend. And then Angel Lutz is the shorter one next to Miss Gina. And then Kreger, here's a musician right there with the glasses on. And I just found out today that he was had a part in a movie, and it was the movie with Cuba Gooding Jr. and Robin Williams. But the name of it escapes me all of a sudden. I should have written it down in my notes. So it was a wonderful weekend. I had a good time. I only had to do a few magic tricks, but it was a wonderful time. And maybe it opens up the door for a couple of other things. There were pirates there from several of the other pirate crews here in town. They were there to be a part of the show. I think there were 4 other pirates there that were part of the show. And it was just a lot of fun. So we had a good time. Now, I want to talk about a couple of the shows that are coming up, or a couple of, oh, Davey's on it for me. So this weekend coming up, Saturday, the 21st, our crew of the 829 over at the Elks Lodge on Anastasia Island, they're having a get-together. Garb attire is welcome, and all crews are also welcome. Mexican street food available from 5:30 to 7, and the band Salt Run starts at 6:30. It's just a social gathering, and I plan on trying to make my way over there. If anybody wants to go over and have some street food with me, I look forward to maybe having a beer with you also. It's well worth it, and that's this Saturday evening coming up. What's the next one, Davey? On the 28th, I think it is. I don't see the date on there, Davey. Can you tell me what the date was? The date's the 28th, right?
Yeah, 28th.
28th. It's a Saturday from 11 to 4. There is another one I've seen that has the date and the time on it. I must have copied the wrong one. My bad, Davey. That's my fault. 11 to 4 on the 28th at the Seawolf Market Invasion of the Handmade Barrel and Furniture Decor right there on US 1 here in St. Johns County. Go there and support them and have a good time. I unfortunately have tours to do that day at the Pirate Museum and will not be done until 4:30 or 5 o'clock. Will the historian said, what dreams may come. Thank you very much for catching me on that one. And then in July, we have the Rum Fest, the Daytona Main Street Rum Fest. There will be pirates, a pirate parade, some sword fighting, live music, food and drink. I know that Miss Gina will be dancing, and I will be doing some street magic down there. I don't know how many set shows either Gina or I are doing, but there will be some set times for us to do some shows. Come down and enjoy some dancing and some magic and have a good time. we'll do some more promoting of this one later on. This is July 14th, I believe it is. And you want to come down and have a good time. And hey, come share a rum with me and see what happens. Also on July 5th, we'll do this one first. This, ladies and gentlemen, starting next week, as you can see, we will be doing the Pirate on Duty. So you have an opportunity to have 3 or 4 tours daily. Master Aaron will be there on Mondays. I will be there on Tuesdays. Lady Olivia will be there on Wednesdays. Nasfira will be there on Thursdays. And then I will finish out the week on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Tours of the Pirate and Treasure Museum. The tours are free, ladies and gentlemen. It's part of your admission into the museum. Just a little something extra. And all of the different tour guides, Master Aaron, Lady Olivia, Miss Vera, and myself, our tours are all very different. But if you've got family coming into town through the week or through the summer, bring them out. All 7 days of the week, starting next week, running all the way up to the 10th of August. So all through the rest of June, all through July, and up to the 10th of August, come out and take a tour. July 19th for the Rum Festival. Thank you, George, for the correction. I just was popping up banners as quick as I could, and there was no date on that one. So July 19th for the Rum Festival. And I hope everybody will come out and join us. Come have a rum with Captain Mayhem after my first magic show. Can't do it the first one, but afterwards, then the second one, we'll just have some fun. But that'll be down on Main Street in Daytona. And our good friends there, George Gonzalez, Mr. Gonzo himself, and Angelina June are heading and running this all up. And it is a good time for all. We'll have more information along the way on Captain's Quarters podcast page and in our shows as we get closer. For now, though, I think that's about it. The crew, the St. Augustine Swashbucklers, is having a social on the 5th at one of the crew members' homes up in Jacksonville. And if anybody is interested in joining our crew, this is an opportunity for you to meet the crew and join the crew and become a part of what we do. If you're interested, send some information to the St. Augustine Swashbucklers public page that you're interested in joining, and we'll get you all hooked up there. I don't think there's anything else that I wanted to share. What else do we have, Davey?
Answers for the joke of the week.
That's it. Let's go ahead and see what the joke of the week is. The ending with Mini Mayhem. Go ahead, Davey.
Okay, it's time for the answer to the joke of the week. How did the pirate know he was getting old? The answer is his buccaneer was starting to sag. I see Mandy Joe is pointing at the captain and laughing.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Mini Mayhem is scraping the bottom of the rum barrel for some of these. Let's see, what else do we have? We can do our numbers and our thank you video, but before we do, Davey, I just wanted to go back through. I see Dan has popped in. Good to see you, Dan. Will the Historian. And Will the Historian, I was going to pop a picture of my grandbaby up here, and I forgot to download it. So we'll put that up there. I'd like to thank everybody for being on board the show tonight with us. We appreciate it. And let's go ahead and do our thank you video, Davey.
Okay.
The Captain's Quarters podcast is always searching the world for history, knowledge, and adventure. It takes a crew to run a podcast, so we would like to take this opportunity to thank those who help keep the podcast going.
The crew: Captain William Mayhem, Navigator Davey Longwood, Cartographer Mandy Joe. Our charities we support: Agla's Acres, St. Augustine Humane Society, and Inc. Investing in Kids. The 3 major charities for support, but always room for more. You too can be part of the crew and support the show in many ways. Go to our Patreon. For a small monthly contribution, become a powder monkey, first mate, or captain sponsor. go to YouTube and hit the like and subscribe buttons to join our ranks and support the show. It does take a crew. Thank you.
And our platforms, Davey. How can you find us? You get us on YouTube to start with, ladies and gentlemen, but then it downloads to Spotify, Instagram, Twitch, and Facebook. But if you just want to listen to us, because I know some of you don't really want to watch my ugly old face up here, then you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Castbox, Stitcher, Spotify, Twitter, Music, Amazon, and iHeartRadio. Twit is me right now. That's it. Yeah, Twit. Hi. And, Davey, thank you very much. How about that? There is a picture of my new grandbaby, 7 weeks old, and she's looking like, hey, what you talking about? I'm going to get to hold her next year around Celtic Festival. I can't wait. It's one of my exciting times that I'm looking forward to 2026. All right. Thank you, Davey. I appreciate that very much. What else do we need to show everybody?
Numbers.
Our numbers, and our numbers are good, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. Very good. Our numbers, we've hit that 1,500. That's wonderful. So, ladies and gentlemen, we were having a conversation amongst us here at the beginning of the show, and we're thinking of doing something special. And it might be something on a different night. What we're thinking of doing is everybody that has bought a membership into our program, we're thinking about having a different night where we just might invite all of you to be on the screen with us and just have a roundtable discussion of whatever happens to come up. We think it would be a lot of fun. We can find out who is who and where is where, and just have a good time and a good conversation. And we may do the first one in the next week or two. So we'll see what happens. We have to get all the particulars out and then do some kind of an invite to everybody that has that proper membership by what you've paid into and how it works. I'm still new with all of this too, but it is one of the major reasons I have Mandy and Davey, because they're younger and smarter than I am. And Mandy's prettier than both of me and Davey together, so that helps a lot also. And Zachary Wolf, it sounds like a good time. If we were to do this, Zachary, it would be about the same time, so we wouldn't be interrupting too much of your sleep. It would be fun, though, to have Zachary and Omar and Will the historian and Nightingale and everybody else, and see what we can do about getting everybody in and having a good conversation. And who knows what we could talk about. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you are too. Got to bring more rum. Well, I'll be bringing rum to Panama City, but during this event, if we do this on screen, you guys will have to just watch me drink my rum right here. I think we've had a good show, Davey. We have some more new information to start sharing with everybody soon. It is time for us to start paying attention to the future and how we're going to keep moving forward with this show, always changing our course, always changing our direction, and trying to make it so that we can get into everybody's home. But 1,500, we've been shooting for that one for months now, and we've made it. On that note, I'm going to ask Mandy to unmute.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I know. Uh-oh. Ann, anything you want to add to everything? Anything at all you want to throw out to everybody?
Oh, just keep watching. We got some amazing, fun new things that'll be coming up. I just played pirate at a Scottish festival for 3 days, and there's some amazing pirate things that'll be coming out of it. So pay attention, follow us, and watch what's going on. And that's in addition to Ancient City Con and FanX that we're going to be out broadcasting at. So pay attention and come have some fun. You'll be able to join what we're doing where you're at locally. It'll be so much fun.
Yes, and we should say FanX is the first weekend of October, and Ancient City Con is
August.
August. I haven't been drinking either. Not a drop. August, and then Ancient City Con in St. Augustine is in September, the weekend before Talk Like a Pirate Day. And be prepared because we're looking at doing a couple of things on the weekend of Talk Like a Pirate Day. So we've got some great things coming up, and we may have to make a few changes here and there, but all the changes are for the better because, well, we're just having too much fun. Upon that note, Davey, you have anything you want to throw out at everybody?
I know that's pretty much it. I agree with Mandy though. Keep your eyes out for. We'll be doing some impromptu little spots from downtown, so you never know.
Yes, we got to start working on that and have some fun with that. So we'll see what happens. We're working on some ideas for some shorts. So, ladies and gentlemen, you've always been a good crew. We thank you for being a part of us, but it is now time to take us back out to sea. So, Davey, go ahead.
Part of the podcast.
Part of the crew.
Always. We can't do it without you. We could, but it wouldn't be as much fun because it would just be the three of us sitting here talking to each other. We'd rather have you as being a part of the crew. We thank you very much, and we'll see you on the next showing of Captain's Quarters Podcast. Aye.
With wit and charm, they make it clear.